All right. Hello. Good morning. Yeah, sorry I'm not streaming much these days. But yeah, I'm just prioritizing work really, and the idea is really to do more streaming just working, because we do a lot of exciting stuff at CodeSandbox, and so I'm going to do that or try to do that, because I'm started to like time box my day. So I kind of spend an hour at the beginning of the day just going through all my notifications, and then I have like time boxed some time to do some work, and then typically there are some meetings and stuff where I work in between where it's more difficult to stream. But yeah, so let's try to do that. But I had a really rough week last week because like what's core to the experience at CodeSandbox is of course coding, and part of coding is linting and formatting. And linting and formatting is really tricky to do, because you have some basic tools like ESLint and Prettier, but they like from one perspective they are CLI tools, and CLI tools are not very good to use as a like an approach for an implementation for a code editor, because they have a lot of overhead, because you have to run Node every time you run that process, and it takes like almost a second to just start Node. So what you need, or the alternative, is to actually make ESLint and Prettier part of the code editor. So you kind of require them as a package, and you can run them in a worker or something, which removes that overhead. But now you have more of a custom implementation, because it's not just doing the linting and the formatting. You also have to deal with configuration, figuring out the configuration and everything, which the CLI tool does on its own. So what I've been working on at CodeSandbox is to find a way for us to not do any custom implementations of linting and formatting, but not have the overhead of Node. And there are projects that already exist that I stumbled upon, which is called Prettier D and ESLint D. So basically, it's like it's running ESLint and Prettier behind a TCP server. And I think actually that they actually do, like these processes actually do require the packages directly, or have a lot of logic related to figuring out where does the actual ESLint and Prettier package exist relative to where you try to run the process. It has a lot of logic related to configuration stuff. My point is that it's just not our responsibility to do that stuff. And it's run behind a TCP server. So the way we talk to these, to ESLint and Prettier, is through this TCP socket, which is very efficient. But I had a really hard time making it work, because we're not just running like a simple node process. It's a lot of stuff in our environment to do this stuff. Because the linting and the formatting isn't actually happening in the client, it's happening in this server process, which we call Pitcher. So that was an introduction, and it was nice for me to just offload my horrible last week. So what we're going to do today is take a look at, let's see, let's not open the diff, let's just open the file. Yes, so what we're looking at here is, I made one fix, and that is when we lint a file, we get JSON back, but we might not actually get JSON. If there's an error with the linting, meaning that there's maybe a syntax error in the configuration file, it doesn't find the configuration file at all, we just get a message, which means that the parsing will fail, And what we do is that we rather return that as a diagnostic result, where whatever error, whatever error we have is the message, and then we'll put that message on like the first character in the code editor, so you can see that error. Yes, so that's something I have fixed here, and then I also fixed so that if the formatting has an error result, we return null. Because if we return null, let's see. Yeah. Sorry, let me just get through this. Yeah, I'm logging some stuff here. Anyways, so if we get an error, I have to go and find the server. Where are you? Here you are. Get format document response. Get format response. Yes, so this is where we run the formatter. And if the text is equal to null, we'll throw a could not format document, which is what's expected looking at documentation. And then it will return an error to our code editor in the client. The problem is that for some reason we don't get null when there's an error formatting. Like if there's a syntax error and the formatting can't be performed, we just get back the same contents as we passed into the formatter. And what we're going to do is to figure out what does actually Prettier and ESLint do in these cases. Do they actually return the same result, or should we expect there to actually be like, should the process actually throw an error? Or like, what does it actually do? And to do that, I thought we could actually look at, let's see, let me just bring in a tab here. We're actually going to CodeSandbox.io because we are actually playing around with some stuff. So this is not official yet, but with CodeSandbox projects, we have kind of taken on full development. Like with CodeSandbox, we had two ways of approaching growing the product. It was to take version 1 with sandboxes and try to gradually add full development on top, or we could go from scratch and build full development and then later merge the two experiences. So we did the latter approach. So that's what we're actually working on now, merging the experience of sandboxes with projects and really make it one product. So I'm super excited. I saw some designs yesterday, I think, and it's like, oh my God, we are going to disrupt, that's for sure. Let's see, it doesn't matter what I'm starting here. We're actually going to use the terminal. So this is kind of interesting, like we're actually opening a sandbox here, but we're opening it in our micro VM and dev environment. So I have terminals and everything here. Let's see, yarn add Prettier. So what we're going to try first is to add Prettier, and we're going to run it as a CLI. npx Prettier, and I think we can just give it a file path. So if I do like test.js, and we'll do console.log hey, let's try that. Yeah, let's, how do we do this? Now we're actually doing the format. Yeah. So let's try test.js. What happens now? Yeah, you see we get console hey, and it has formatted the file. And if I do like write, it should actually change up here as well. That's pretty cool. Let's close this. I don't need this stuff. Let's see. Let's see. What we need to check though is if I have a syntax error, what happens to the process now? Don't need to write. Yeah, so it actually gives back a syntax error. That's interesting. Let's go and look at Github Prettier D. So we'll use Prettier first to figure out what's happening here, because it's just a simpler implementation. So what it does is, let's see if we can figure out what it actually does. Yeah, resolve Prettier. Parse CLI argument, blah, 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 run. So here it resolves the config, and then it does formatting, which it returns. Invoke, we run. Yeah, and then we have callback with the error. That's interesting. Did I? Okay, so maybe this actually works with Prettier. I didn't actually test that. I just tested with ESLint, so maybe we should try that first. Let's see. I'm just going to find my terminals here. Yeah, this is where I build, and then we have the other terminal. Yeah, this is where we run the process. And I have to find this other. So what's kind of cool is that I'm now running this picture process, which is running inside our micro VMs. It's kind of our headless code editor. I'm running that on the micro VM, like on CodeSandbox Projects. And then I'm connecting a branch of our client to that branch of picture. Last 7 minutes. Nostalgic cookies. Which one of them? Let's see. I can't remember. This is something else. Yeah, this is it. Okay, so let's maybe we can just have it here. Let's see, I can run it here. No, I'll run it in a new tab instead. Let's just close it. Close, we don't need storybook. Let's see. There we go. Oops, what did I do? There we go. Oh, nano leaf. Yeah, I want to buy some nano leaf lamps. I was hoping they actually had it. Okay, cool. And now let's go to GitHub. Let's see. Oops, what did I do? Oh, come on. Test sandbox, let's just create a branch. What the hell? There we go. Okay, so now we're running a branch. Yeah, for some reason I have to have the console open. I don't know why. It's weird. Or I thought, oh, wasn't this? I thought this was the one. Oh, maybe it's not. CodeSandbox version 2. And local. What are you connecting to? Oh, maybe it's the wrong one. Oh, we're connecting to the wrong one. Application, let's restart. Let's see now. So what we're going to do, we're going to run the client, we're going to install Prettier, and then run it and see if we actually get these errors. Because then at least Prettier works. And then it's more about ESLint. Why doesn't ESLint give an error on its formatting?
Det er i ferd med å legge ut sånn her, går for småskalaproduksjon og salg i løpet av september. Så legger jeg ut det, og så snakker jeg med Innovasjon Norge. Er ikke på det?
Jo.
Tuller du?
Nei.
Kan du pause?
Nei. Ja, så...
Nei, men jeg har ikke lyst til å være på stream.
Hæ? Nei, men du kan ikke se det. Det går bra da.
Ja, men jeg vil ikke bli hørt til det.
Nei, du blir ikke hørt. Det er en sånn mikrofon som...
Ja, hvis jeg skriver det, så snakker jeg med Innovasjon Norge på mandagen. Og så... Da kommer jo de med masse innspill til strategi og markedsføring og sånn, og så har jeg på en måte startet min greie. Det... Hæ?
Nei, ikke tenk på det.
Ok.
Nei. Let's see. Cool. So let's go in here. This is ESLint. So we're going to delete ESLint there. We're going to delete ESLint here. We're going to add a terminal, and we're going to remove node modules. And we're going to yarn install. Oh, install. And we're going to add Prettier. Okay, so now when we do something here, it should format, which it does, which is great. The ESLint stuff is, of course, giving errors. Yeah, and this is also something. I believe now we are... Yeah, I wonder why we're getting linting errors, ESLint errors. That's something we also need to fix, because we haven't installed ESLint, so that's kind of weird. Anyways, so let's see what's happening inside the process now. So we got an error on ESLint. Maybe we should check that first. Why the hell is ESLint running? Let's see. Why is ESLint range formatting? Publish. Yes, it doesn't seem like we're actually checking if you have ESLint. This is also a tricky one. It's like you might add ESLint at any moment in time. So it's like, should we check? When should we check that we should run ESLint? Is it when... is it every time the editor asks for diagnostics? Which means that we have to kind of traverse to find... figure out if ESLint is installed. Or... do we do this like when you actually install it? But that means then we need to like watch package JSON files and stuff like that, which is more tricky. So it's like easier for us to do this when whenever it's asked for, but it's asked for quite often. So that's the thing. It's like we should avoid like traversing, like you see here, is package installed. So that's the case here. We actually, every time you ask for a format, we go and figure out if you have a formatter installed. But for linting, we just do the linting. And what happens then is what you saw here. It's like the keyword import is reserved. So I think it just defaults to some ESLint rules. Which is not good. So we shouldn't really run the linter at all here. Or that's the question, like should we do that? Maybe that's a good thing. Like we have a very opinionated workflow, and ESLint is something you really should use. But it has some really bad defaults. So, and I think actually if we look, okay, ESLint the GitHub, I think we can pass in like a default configuration. Where did I see that? ESLint local, ESLint. There's something about this room. I don't know what it is. Or is it, maybe I need glasses or something. I get like super dizzy. Like I feel like I'm fainting. But it's only when I sit here. And I wonder if it's the air. Like or is it because I'm concentrating? I'm not sure. I have to figure that out. Yeah, so there's no... Yeah, so this is kind of going beyond... Yeah, so we should probably not run the linter. But that means we have to figure out... Yeah, maybe we should use the logic from... So where are we actually using this? Detect formatters. Yeah, I think we can... let's just try it at least. It's called formatter now, but params URI, which is a string. Is it the actual... Oh, there we have it. Path. Okay, so we can do some stuff here. Oh, it really annoys me, like that we're actually traversing the... I'm not sure if that's such a good idea. Like we're doing a lot of stat and traversing the file system. But we shouldn't run linting unless you actually have ESLint. I think we need a better way to detect detect changes to your packages. And the challenge is, of course, you can have a mono repo. So we don't really have good way to do this as of now. We don't have like a first class concept of knowing about all your package JSON files. And you get a lot of published diagnostics. That's the problem. This is tricky. I'm not sure what to do. I should probably discuss this with some colleagues. How should we solve this? Yeah, I do think we need a first class concept of. Well, what's interesting though is that we have this in-memory representation of the file tree. So we could use that to very quickly well, we'll know about changes though. We will know where package JSON files are when they are removed and added, but we wouldn't know if they're being changed. How do we know? Fuck, this is annoying. Like the challenging thing is monorepos, because you might be, maybe you have linting in one package, but you don't have in the other package. So that's why we kind of do the detection per request. Yeah. Oh, I'm stuck on this. I don't think it's a good idea that we do all this traversal. Yeah, that's also interesting. Like, we don't really care about package JSON files. What we care about are the actual. Well, that's also interesting. Like in this case, we don't actually care about package JSON. We just see if the package is installed, which is interesting because if you were to remove ESLint from package JSON, and would you then expect the linting to stop, or do you know that you have to remove the package from node modules to make it stop? That is very interesting. In my mind, I would expect if ESLint is removed from package JSON, it means that it shouldn't. Like, what? Yeah, when do you expect ESLint to be activated? The thing is, like, we talked about allowing the user to manually set what formatter to use, and I think that makes a lot of sense, because that's some of the most confusing stuff with configuring linting and formatting, is that it's an effect of what packages and config you have added, and suddenly it just doesn't work and you don't know why. But if you were actively saying I want Prettier, we could actually help you and say, oh, but you haven't installed Prettier, and we could like give an error on that. So the formatting won't work. Or we could say we'll be using the default Prettier version. If you want to use your own version, please install the package, for example. And the same for ESLint. It's like we don't have a formatter added. Even if you have ESLint installed in your project, we haven't activated the it will be part of the onboarding that we state that, oh, we see that you have ESLint, or we see that you have ESLint and the Prettier plugin. Do you want to activate that as the formatter? I think we should do it like that, but that's like a bigger change. So, okay, so that's definitely something I have to bypass the whole product team. But I think it helps the UX, and it also helps. So you would actually, in the UI, you would know what formatter and linter is active, and you would actually choose, or be able to configure it there. Yeah. Yeah, we have to figure that out. Anyways, but the problem is, yeah, we're kind of going to give ESLint errors on projects now, and we have to figure out how not to do that. How would we fix that? Well, what we can do is we could add a default. We could add a default lint rule. So if it runs the internal ESLint, I wonder how that works. Because now we have, so what we do is that we build the thing. We build. I wonder how I don't think we actually output. I wonder how that looks like. This is just a bunch of exploration. It's kind of boring. City picture. Yeah, so we have, so we could actually have, would that work? To have a default. I wonder if. Okay, so we definitely need. I think the way to fix this is to have a default configuration. Options ESLint. Optionator. Oh, something else. Where does it get? Ignore path part rules. Okay. Where is this being used? References. Options. Where are the options coming from? Oops. Where is oops coming from? There we have them. So it's coming. parse. Oh. So we can, wait a minute. Use Lint engine. Okay, I guess that's something else. Yeah, that's something else. Where does it get yeah, get config for file. Engine. Okay, so it just does a get config for file. Oh wait, print. Okay, so I think it just yeah. Okay, this is interesting. I think we need a default. That's the way to fix this for now. We need a default config that's sensible. But it is kind of tricky though, because what I don't understand, like, why do we even get this, like, parsing error? Yeah, because you do in a linter, you do actually. Yeah, that's, I don't quite understand that. What if I how do I do this? Git. I can never remember this. Git reset head. Was this the thing? Is Lint? No. Oh, god damn it. Git. Oh yeah. Git checkout head. That's the thing. Oh my god, I'm so dizzy. It's so annoying. Okay, so now we have. Okay, so what if we don't extend anything? Then we probably get the error back. I would expect that. Okay, that's interesting. So it seems to me that if we were to just add an ESLint file, that it would actually inherit, then it would actually work. But that means that ESLint file needs to live. That's the problem. Because the project is not. So like the project is here. And we would need that thing to be like here. Which is not ideal. Is it possible? We could check that. ESLint CLI. How can you? Oh yeah, of course. Of course. We need to check the CLI. What kind of options? So can we send in like a default config? Specify. No. Oh my god, this is tricky. This is tricky. So we can set the config path, but we don't know if it's there or not. this doesn't help. How the hell should we do this? Okay, so what we can try to do, I can try to create, if possible, I don't think I have access actually. Oh, I do. Okay. So if I insert root true, and then how do I do this? No, how do I exit? I can't remember. Is it? No. Fuck. How do I exit the thing? I can't remember. Quit? No. God damn it. How do I do that? Ah, fuck it. Let's just close and stop terminal. Like I'm really bad. I'm not very good at like low level like commands and oh, what the hell happened there? What the hell am I doing? Oh. Oh yeah, I messed it up. God damn it. So okay, so is there any other way I can open this file? God damn it. How do I exit? Isn't it? This is insert. Fuck, I'm so bad at this. How to exit V. I thought, and press, oh, of course, now I remember. That's embarrassing. Okay. So, root true, write and save. There we go. Okay, so now we have this file, which is contained. Wait a minute, how does this work? So this is in this repo. So I have to go, wait a minute. So here we have work, but I do have, oh, maybe this only happens in development. Because now it's actually, so I'm, wait a minute. CodeSandbox, TestSandbox. That's the one I'm, oh, this is such an inception. Yeah, so this is draft suite Driscoll. Yeah, so when I remove this, no, delete. Oh. When I delete this, it means that it actually hits this one. So if I were to, okay, so I'm going to try something now. I'm going to, this is interesting. Yeah, this breaks development because now we're okay. I truly believe this is a development issue because if I were to delete, oh yeah, oh wait, that's how we should do it. So I should delete this one, and then by doing lint ignore, yes. So packages, picture agent, workspace. I think. let me just restart this thing and then see what happens. Yeah, I think it's a development issue because in development, we have the linting of Pitcher in the Pitcher repo. But we want to ignore that. We don't want to hit that config. Yeah. Missing return. No. Okay. So now we are hitting. Yeah, okay. So now we are hitting like TypeScript ESLint. We are hitting this one. But how would I prevent that? For development. God damn it, there's so many quirks. Or maybe that's just how development works. You will have that linting error if you don't have ESLint in the project, which might be fine. Which might be fine. Or is there like an option? ESLint root ignore. So you have this thing called root. But is there like an option for can I say that it should like treat it as where are the options? Configuration files. Ignore patterns. Okay, so what if we say, wait a minute. So what if we just update that thing? So we'll remove that. We'll reintroduce the, god damn it, the thing. Can I get you back, please? So we're back here. We have root, but then we say ignore patterns. So you should just ignore everything. And do this. I think I can do something like that. Okay, let's see what happens now in this test sandbox. Yeah, let's so if you hit that config in development, it will just ignore everything. Okay. Okay, that's at least better. Why the hell aren't we getting any syntax highlighting? That's weird. Why did syntax highlighting break when I... Yeah, I remember now, Adam. My muscle memory was bad on that one. But yeah, why the hell did... so if I do this, does the syntax highlighting suddenly work? I definitely broke something. What the hell? How can syntax highlighting break when I ignore? Or maybe it was just some quirk. Maybe it just was some quirk. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Cool. Okay, that's at least better. But why does it use no ignore to override? Okay, I think this is does it have to show that message? Okay, let's just do that for now. I think that it's at least better that we are ignoring. It's kind of annoying. And it's hard for other developers to understand why we get that message. ESLint ignore without warning. One workaround. It's quiet. Oh. Ah, nice. Nice. Quiet. Huh? Isn't there? No inline config. Settings? Oh, quiet? Is there like a quiet mode that you can set? This is of course more the mode of ESLint. It's not like a max warnings. Global parser. Okay. Configuration rules. Parser plugins. Rules, ignore patterns. What about the thingy called settings? No, I don't think we can get past this. It just has to be a quirk of the development environment. Yeah, okay. I have to let go. Cool. We should probably add that. Oops. Yeah, I'll just add it to the PR description. Anyways, what the hell we were doing? Because what happens even though we do linting in when you don't have ESLint, it won't give any diagnostics. then you can rather have that bigger discussion with the team on how we want that user experience to be like. But let's see, Prettier format, Prettier format result. Let's take a look at it. I have to build, and then we'll have to restart, and then we'll see what happens. I saw an interview with John Carmack about the one thing we do wrong in JavaScript, or that JavaScript is missing. It's debugging tools. Like we use a lot of console logs. At least I do that. Okay, God's error, Prettier format, and it doesn't come back as an error. That's the problem. Which I find weird. Why does it give me the contents? Why? That doesn't make any sense. So this is a thing inside. Where is it? Prettier. So it runs the thing. Where does it run it? Prettier format. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to, in our little oh, did I close that thing? There we are. So what we're going to do now, we're going to write a new test. And this is going to be import Prettier. I think that doesn't quite work, but okay. No parser and no file path. Okay, so what do we actually give that thing? I want to see what the result of this is. So maybe it acts differently than the CLI, which is annoying. Let's see. Prettier CLI, or Prettier. Yeah, Prettier.js. Opinionated code formatter, docs, API. Okay, cool. So let's try formatting something. Let's do this. Cool. Okay, so that moved it, great. And what if I do this? Okay, what actually happened here? I guess we got, okay, so we did get the error. No, wait, where is it? Oh, this is interesting. So we just got a result? What the hell? Okay, so we got like a... So basically we're formatting something that doesn't work. And this is what I don't quite understand. Like, why aren't we getting errors? Okay, so let's try console log. Hey, and let's just try that, see what happens. So let's find the... Oh, so we do get error. Okay, sorry. Okay, and then we return null. but we actually get the error as well. I think that's interesting. We should, oh, this is very interesting. So I think we should, change this. So we have the server is doing get format response. Why is this in message? Yeah, anyways. So we can get a, so the thing is like you, from one point of view, I got some references to some documentation. So from the documentation of language server protocol, it expects that the text document formatting should return null. Here, where is it? It's then to format the whole document. Formatting. So document formatting params, formatting options, response should be code and message set in case an exception happens here. Yeah, so I think it doesn't need to be null. It's just, it should throw. So I think this doesn't make, could not format document. I'm not sure if null is the, okay. Could not format document. Okay, so maybe it can return null. Okay, cool. But in the case of Prettier, we should definitely not return null. We should throw new error and result content. That's what we should do. And let's see what happens. Sorry, I don't have my comments. Like the comments are taking up so much space. Let's see, can I make it smaller? It's kind of maybe I can have it down left here. Cool. Yeah, that's nice. Cool, let's restart and see. I don't think we actually like do anything with that error, but it's definitely something I want to happen there. Oh, did it do? Cannot be compiled. No, well, that's something else. What the hell is this error? Is this something else? File ignored because of ESLint. That's okay. Cannot be compiled under because it is considered global. Add an import export. Okay, but yeah, that's something else. What kind of error is that? That's TypeScript. Okay, so that's a TypeScript error. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, and then ignore, that's because we're in development. So what I really want to check now is that we did actually throw an error now. So in this server thing, we had get format response, we threw an error, and that should have returned like an error. So what we're going to do, we're going to look here, and we're going to find where we actually handle that response. And that would be here in is it language provider? Formatting provider, that's range. Here we are. So we're getting a result here. Okay, let's have a look at it. What the fuck? That's how I do everything. Okay, let's refresh. because I really want to like notify the user that we are what's wrong. So oh, we're trying. Wait, aren't we getting anything? That's weird. Isn't this the, am I looking at the wrong thing? No. Document formatting provider. We should have gotten an error result here. I think. Send LSP, yeah. Sending formatting. Why the hell aren't we getting? But we're not getting a response. Oh. Wait a minute. Result? Wait a minute. How do we actually send this? Browser, create language. Send LSP request. Language client. Is it actually throwing an error? LSP request. Oh yeah, this is some custom logic. Catch, reject. Oh, so I think we're actually getting an error from this, and we're actually just going down here. Interesting. Let's look at that. Boop. There we are. Wait a minute, what's happening here? Why is it clearing the console? That's so annoying. Preserve log. Oh my god. Yeah, here we have it. But why are we just getting this? Why aren't we getting... Huh? Why are we getting that? As text edits. Okay, so if we were to, like the specification says, it's code and message send in case an exception happens. Code and message. Response, result, error. Code and message. So okay, so what if we I wonder what happens if we do return code message error. Let's just try this. I wonder what happens. So this is like, for me, I just dived into all this LSP stuff a couple of weeks ago. I have so much to learn. Oh. Does it like... Yeah, so what we can do is, this is really where we want to... Oh, it states that it should be... Oh, interesting. What can it return? can it return? Options, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, we don't care about this for now. What we care about is that we actually throw an error. So yes, the formatter might give a null, which means we return an error code for that. But it might also throw. The formatter might throw. And then we catch the error. And we also return that as an error. Okay, that makes sense to me. Now the question is, so now we're doing the right thing for Prettier. We know we're getting the actual error. So that's great. So let's reintroduce ESLint to the mix. You know, we can just go to test sandbox and create equals true. Well, we can actually, oops, what the hell? We can just fork. Oh, what the hell am I doing? No. Oh, wait. How? Oh, P. God damn it. I can't remember anything. Branch. Create new branch. Oh, interesting. I didn't know we actually. Oh. Create branch. Oh, I thought we've changed this. Okay. Doesn't matter. Why can't I? Oh, Oh, we moved it up there. Create branch from main. There's stuff happening all the time. Anyway, so here we are back with ESLint, and what we want is for, yeah, it actually takes some time for, yeah, it's interesting. Oh, what the hell happened here? Oh, fuck, that doesn't work. Ah, of course, it inherits. Ah, god damn it. Okay, we can't do anything about the weird ESLint thing. It's just something that needs to be there. Oh god, how are we going to explain to the developers that if you don't have ESLint installed, you will get this weird error? Yeah, typically you have ESLint, like that's the default sandbox. I don't think it's an actual problem in practice, but it's going to be difficult for, yeah, people are going to be confused by that. Anyways, now we have ESLint, and what I'm wondering about now is if we were to install yarn add ESLint plugin Prettier ESLint config Prettier. ESLint plugin Prettier. Where's this one? So if I'm to install this stuff now. Oops. Oh, of course. What happens now? Do I actually get an error now? Let's go to Prettier server. Got error. Where did I'm doing it here. Where do I have that guts error thing? Lint file. Where the hell is that happening? Oh, it's in. Oh, there we go. Okay. ESLint. So we want to check the result here. Do we actually get the same stuff? Let's build. Because then I think we should really, yeah, let's see what happens. So let's write the same thing here, console log he. Let's try to save that. What the hell does this say? ESLint. Yeah, you see this? It doesn't give an error. And I don't understand why. So Prettier does give an error, but ESLint does not give an error. And it doesn't give null either. So this is way more complicated. So inside the linter that actually does this, so this is where we're using this. We have this options fix to standard out. No output will be returned if there are no fixes. That's not true. Execute with CLI engine. So we do have, so when we fire up this thing, we pass, well, we don't pass that. We pass standard in. So you're getting you're getting the text, or you're getting the file name on standard in. So it creates the report, and then it just feels like this is wrong. Oh, format. Oh, this is more the format of the result. So how do we actually send this? So we do standard in, fix to standard out, and we give it standard in file name. Again, no output will be returned if there are no fixes. But that's not true, is it? It does give the same contents back. And it doesn't even state that it's an error. So that I would state this is a bug in ESLint D. Unless I've... Oh, here we also have something. What's this? Execute with ESLint. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's the same. This seems to be wrong. Like, you see this? It states that it's either this or it's the text. And it says no output will be returned if there are no fixes. Yeah, so I guess Oh, yeah. Okay, does that mean if... Okay, let's try that. So if we... Yeah, let's try this. So let's do this. So in this case, it runs and it should give content. But if I save again and there are no... No, it gives the same content. That sucks. Or if it doesn't change the formatting. Let's see. No, it always gives the content. I was thinking maybe it would, since it didn't actually perform any formatting, that's when it doesn't return anything, which means that we could actually check. Yeah, my question was, what if the output is the same as the input? That would indicate that it wasn't able to do formatting. Because if there wasn't any formatting, it wouldn't get any output. But we still do get that output. So that doesn't make any sense. What does this mean? No results will be returned if the file is ignored. No output will be returned if there are no fixes. That's not true. That is not true. And I think the problem is... Emma? Hun sover kanskje? Nei. Er hun ikke på rommet? Vet ikke. Mamma? Mamma? Yeah, so I'm curious about this. The fix to standard out option must be used with standard in. Yeah, it does not seem to me like it's possible to identify when there are actually formatting errors. Are these like really old? 18 days ago? 2 hours ago? Oh, interesting. Okay, so I'm going to... I wonder if... Does he actually respond to these? I wonder. There's a... Yeah, Montoni. That's the person... Okay, that's great. Okay, so he actually looks at this. Okay, let's create a bug. Potential bug. Potential bug when formatting for an awesome, great package. What's the URL to like CodeSandbox Projects? Do we have like a projects beta? Oh my god. Okay, let's to drive our linting it's our oldest. She just started school, which is awesome. But like the emotional, like it's so fascinating, like how a 5-6 year old, like they can be so imbalanced, but then they're like everything just breaks down. I don't understand how their emotional fluctuations work. It's so weird. Anyways, we are using this to drive our linting at projects. One thing I have noticed. Let's give him some hearts. Heart eyes. One thing I've noticed implementing this is that when we combine ESLint with Prettier and run formatting with we always get back the contents we sent. In other words, we cannot identify when the formatting goes as an error. From the source code, I understand it as no output should be returned. From the source code, I understand it working like this. When formatting occurs, the output will differ from the input. When no formatting occurs, no formatting is necessary, there will be no output. When yeah, it's interesting because the tricky thing about detecting errors on a TCP message, well, basically just a string message on formatting. One thing is linting because you expect a JSON response, but here it's just text. So how the hell do you know it's an error? So even like with Prettier, where we check if it's an error, we check if it's an error if the last line is like #exit. But that's definitely not safe. With Prettier we do get in theory, someone could actually have as their unlikely, but could happen. On this note, I am curious. When the TCP response is the actual code, how can we safely identify it as an error? But could happen. Yes. So what are we? Can we do JSON response here as well? Oh, I wonder if we can do that. What if we can do that? What happens then? Format JSON. I don't think that does anything, but let's try. Oh god, this is so weird. For some reason, when I click this, it actually creates a new branch, which is so weird. It happens all the time. So let's just do a quick check on that. What's the actual response? Oh, they're both up. Or sorry, my youngest is also awake. Yeah, no, it just gives the content. Okay. That doesn't make any sense. Cool. Okay, so let's ask this. Hi there, and thank you. We are using this to draw linting. One thing I have noticed in this is that when we combine instrument with Prettier and run formatting, we always get back the contents we sent. Okay. What the hell? Okay. We always get back the contents we send. In other words, we cannot identify when the formatting has an error. With Prettier D, we get an error response. Final line is when the formatting fails. On this note, I'm curious. I see comments in code about no output when no fixing has occurred. But that seems to default to the input again. On the okay, let's extract that piece of code. So we have some. Where the hell was that? Output. Let's search for output. Where were we? On this note, I am curious. When the TCP response is the actual code that was formatted, how can we safely identify it as an error? In theory, someone could actually have hash exit1 as their final line in code, unlikely, but could happen. Thanks again. I don't mean to be critical here. One thing I noticed implemented is that when we combine ESLint with Prettier and run formatting with blah blah blah, we always get back the contents we sent. In other words, we cannot identify when the formatting has an error. With Prettier D, we get an error response. Final line is #exit1 when the formatting fails. I see comments in code about no output when no fixing. No fixing has that seems to default to the input again for reference. No output, it sends the text. On this note, I'm curious, when the TCP response is the actual code that was formatted, how can we safely identify it as an error? In theory, someone could actually have #exit1 as their final line. And actually, okay, thanks again. Okay, I think I'm happy with this. I think we should just stop the stream. I will just do the same here. Throw new error. Result, because this will like never happen now. ESLint currently does not respond with errors. We are not able to identify when a formatting fails. So let's reference this issue. Created an issue. Cool. Okay, I'm happy with that. Message. Yeah, it was kind of weird that this could be undefined. It cannot really be null anymore. Yeah, it can't really be null anymore because it throws. Yeah, that's a weird thing. Like I think ESLint inside Prettier D, sorry, in ESLint D actually returns null, possibly. But still that would be sent as a string on the output, which is weird. Yeah, I'm confused by this. So I think I'm not going to commit anything here quite yet. Hopefully I get a response on this so I can at least comment how this should work. What? Oh yeah. This has to be a string. Cool. Yeah, let's just keep this for now. But I'm a little bit smarter after this session, so that's good. Oh, get format, this format. Yeah, this cannot be null actually. Cool. Yeah, hopefully he'll respond. Cool. Yeah, sorry. I don't know if this these streams are interesting in any way. At least it gives some insight into what I do every day. At least when I'm engineering. And this is kind of how it has to be, I think. Or I won't be able to find the time. But yeah, maybe this was not the most interesting thing. Anyways, it's helpful for me to talk through this. So again, thanks. We'll talk more next week, I guess. Bye for now.